Welcome to another Clyde adventure. On this trip, we're going to go down the fabulous Barry Way from Jyndabyne down to Buchan, but we're going to cut across to McKillops Bridge and go around the back way down to Jackson's Crossing, into Buchan, stay the night before heading up the Timbarra River. Don't forget to look for your sublimated high country souvenir shirts available from all retailers in the high country. We've just left Cooma and head into Jindabyne. Jindabyne was first settled in the 1840s, and in 1860, the gold rush at Crackenback brought prosperity to the small settlement. A bridge over the Snowy River was built in 1893. The village thrived, and by 1950s, there were 3 churches, several stores, the old Jindabyne Hotel, a public school, post office, and even a mobile petrol station. In 1959, the 250 residents started relocating to the current location on the hill to allow for the filling of Lake Jindabyne, an important part of the Great Snowy Scheme. 8 years later, the water started to rise. The cemetery gates, the headstones, and recoverable human remains were all relocated. The townspeople crossed the bridge over the Snowy River for the very last time on the 19th of December 1964. And in 1967, an army demolition team blew the bridge up with gelignite. When in Jindabyne, we choose to stay at the NRMA Caravan Park right on Lake Jindabyne. Even the toilets have actually heated rooms so you don't get cold. Just imagine the original town was out there under the water. How good is this? Jyndabyne, Snowy Mountain. We wake up to a warm 5 degrees. Before heading off to the Barry Way, we turn left at that roundabout and head down the Barry Way. You definitely don't want to be taking a trailer down this road, especially after the New South Wales Victorian border, but there is plenty of campgrounds before there that you could get to by caravan. It doesn't take long before you get your first glimpses of the Snowy River, and then you continually see it on your way down, following the river on your left-hand side as you're heading south. Unfortunately with the camera, it's just not the same as being there. Only 1% of the Snowy River flows past Jindabyne Dam. The vast landscape provides a huge catchment area. We cross over the border from New South Wales into Victoria. This entirely wooden schoolhouse was built in 1865. Buchan is 8 kilometres from the New South Wales Victorian border and is a ghost town. Now for a drive up the mountain. Can you imagine whoever cut this in? Solid rock. Would have taken years. Anyway, at least we're able to drive over it quite quickly. Bit of a long drive, but then we'll come down into the valley and get ready for the turnoff. You can see why this road's not good for caravans or semi-trailers. We finally make it down in the valley. Now if you turn right here into Limestone Road, this is going to take you up to Native Dog Flat Camping Area, which is named to be one of the best camping areas in Victoria. A little bit further along, you'll go follow Limestone Creek track. There's some more camping areas, and you also get out to Davies Plains Hut. A little bit further along, you're going to come down to this T intersection. If you turn right, that's going to take you down to Buchan, or we're going to turn left and go to McKillops Bridge. That's the way to Buchan, and then we're going to turn left here and go to McKillops Bridge. Make sure you got plenty of fuel. About 7.5 kilometers down the road, you're going to come to Little River Falls. You definitely don't want to be taking a caravan down this road. A further 17.5 kilometers, we arrive at McKillops Bridge Campground from Little River Falls. The campground's approximately 1 kilometer to go till we reach McKillops Bridge. In 1931, a contract was given to a Melbourne firm, Gardner Constructions, to build the McKillops Bridge. The bridge had to be 3 meters over the highest recorded flood peak of the previous 60 years. The bridge was built and an opening ceremony was planned for the 19th of January 1934. On the 8th of January 1934, a storm produced heavy rainfall over the river and the bridge was washed away later in the day. A second bridge was then commenced very quickly with a greater clearance over the riverbed. This time the bridge was made 22.2 meters high, and in full flood the bridge only has a couple of meters to spare. The Ambyne suspension bridge was opened in 1935. It is a unique surviving example of a country roads board suspension bridge constructed for vehicle traffic. It is one of only 2 surviving Victorian examples of suspension bridges constructed for vehicle traffic. Must have been made for one of those little tiny T-model Fords, and it was obviously just a one-way bridge. We're going to keep going straight here. We don't turn left. We're going to head to Bonang. You don't actually see this sign if you're driving north to south. It's only from south to north you actually see this sign. I actually nearly missed the turnoff here at Rising Sun, which will take you onto Yalami Road, and you'll keep following to Jackson's Crossing. Monkey Top Track will not disappoint. Here's where you turn right into Varney's Track and head to Jackson's Crossing. This is one of the longest river crossings in the high country, relatively shallow, but again the water flows from right to left. But again, after big storms, this river can get quite deep, so just check your depths before you attempt this. Today it was quite shallow, but very rocky. You don't want to get those rocks caught up underneath. You could get stuck. Over on your right hand side where that big tree is, there's a hut which we'll pop over later and have a look at. You can see the water starting to get a little bit deeper here as we're producing a bow wave at the front. What you want to do, stick in low range second gear and just keep pushing that water away. That way you won't have any water come in the vehicle. I knew where to go because I've done this track previously, but in the opposite direction. I'm going to show that very shortly with the drone. I don't use the drone at this stage, but it's very difficult to drive and operate the drone at the same time. Here's the drone footage we did on a previous trip in the opposite direction. You'll see how deep it is, and again we create a bow wave, but we're actually going upstream this time instead of downstream. We got one more small river crossing to do at the other end because we're currently on the island in the middle of Jackson's Crossing. This is what it looks like from the air. Here's that hut I mentioned earlier. Unfortunately, it has no name. You'll know when you're at Jackson's Crossing, you'll see this nice big rock face with the golden color rock through it. About a 30 to 35 minute drive from Buchan to Jackson's Crossing, and you just stay on Basins Road. We arrive into Buchan and look for some accommodation before stopping at the general store and the pub, of course. On this trip, I decided to stay at the Buchan Caves Park. Unfortunately, it's closed, but there was no one there, so I camped for free. I'll definitely be back. There's great facilities here and great campground. I was amazed at how much it has to offer, and I was surprised why it was closed.
Look, here's my friends the possums. Hey guys, what are you doing? Looking for something to eat?
After a few bourbons, the possums made great company.
Not that far.
Another cold morning at 3 degrees, but it's time to get up and start heading off on the Timbarra Road and follow the Timbarra River up to Nunningung. This is a small community of Buchan. It's not very large, but with a general store, a pub, police station, fuel. What else do you need? Only 5 kilometres south of Buchan, you're going to turn right in Timbarra Road. You can turn right here in the Nunnet Road, but I'd stay left and go up the Timbarra Road. They will join up eventually, but Timbarra Road definitely a lot more scenic. You can see a picnic table there on the left. This is where you access it, just around the corner for a nice little camp spot. Here's another great camp spot, the Timbarra North Campground, right on the Timbarra River. This is really popular with campers. A lot of caravans down the other end there, where you got the Timbarra River running through the campground. This is not a park or botanical garden, it's a farm. This is definitely a more scenic drive. This is where the Timbarra Settlement Road meets up with Nunnet Road. Here's the Glenmore Hut site, but there's no hut. Stay on Nunnet Road until you get to this site, which is absolutely amazing. There was deer, brumbies, emus. It was like a sanctuary for animals. I'm going to definitely come and spend some time here and camp in this area. Follow this road and it'll take you into Nunangong Valley. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you on the next one.